Why
Thank you, Tom.
list in the US? Why list now?
There are definitely all kinds of risk with geopolitics, with market risk. But I think at the moment we believe for the company this is the best venue to pursue, given our focus of finding the right investor for us.
Talk to us about the demand that you've seen for the stock. Where is that coming from? What's driving that demand, do you think?
Well, I think the demand we see actually come from all over the world. There's a big, I would say, inflection point we see in the capital markets looking at the new energy and smart EV phenomena. And I think at this time we attracted probably all the top long only blue chip names into our book, which is we're very, very happy and proud of.
And we're actually seeing nearly all of the Chinese listed companies in the US pricing above the range. Is that a question of liquidity? Is it a question of buying into the Chinese tech story despite these tensions? What do you think is behind that?
Well, I think China actually clearly has a very attractive market. And also, I think the players in China all have been developing very exciting technologies and business models. And I think investors recognize the growth, recognize the development of the technology, as well as our innovative business models. That's slightly different from other parts of the world. So I think people see this as a tremendous opportunity.
And you were able to price above the range. You had a range of between 11 to 13 US dollars. That was the marketed range. You're pricing at $15 a share. Were you surprised by that level of demand? What is it enabling you to do now, that additional funding?
Well, I think it is obviously a very happy ending for us. We obviously have high hopes for our IPO. And I think attracting the most sophisticated and high conviction investors is our goal. Obviously, valuation just one of the parameters. Now with the funding in place actually allows us to have a lot more flexibilities of pursuing our business model and additional investment in the area of R&D, in the area of autonomous driving, in the area of sales and marketing and brand building, and also build out the service element for our network. So all that we can do in a much more, I would say, fulsome fashion with the funding behind us.
Okay, and the priorities then, R&D, I mean, you're raising $1.5 billion approximately from this share sale. Is R&D the front and center priority for you at this point?
Well, R&D has always been one of the most important area for us to focus on. I mean, if you look at the past, we probably spent more money in R&D than any other areas. And also close to half of our staff is in the area of R&D, which is very different from the rest of the peers. Going forward, I think this is going to be in our DNA, R&D, not only the R&D for automotive products, but also R&D for autonomous driving, as well as smart connectivities.
How much market share do you expect to carve out in the Chinese market in the medium term, Brian?
Well, I think obviously we expect the top players in China will concentrate. Smart EV. Our view is going to be a more concentrated market, and I think the top players will be each commanding 10% market share and above. I would say maybe top 4 to 6 players. And we certainly hope to be one of those top players in China.
Does this make you more of a threat to Tesla?
Well, I see Tesla actually is a very good, company that we together are converting this whole auto market to a smart EV market. It's very exciting to see, cool products, products with real technology differentiate user experience that's really changing the consumer landscape in China. And I feel like, together we can do a lot better and much faster conversion. And that will be a very, very exciting future for us.
We've seen a pickup in demand for electric vehicles in China just in the last few months. Is that going to be sustained, do you think, going forward? Or is that down to subsidies and price cuts?
Well, actually, in fact, the subsidy has been declining as we see in the past year and obviously this year as well. However, I think more importantly is that you start to see companies like XPeng, like Tesla, like others rolling out really technologically innovative products and really exciting to consumers. I think that's actually what's driving the sales. So I expect the sales momentum for smart EV will grow actually. And also I think we're just at the very beginning of this phase because EV penetration in China is still less than 5%. So there's a lot of room to grow.
Can you give us a sense, Brian, of where you see sales by the end of the year?
Well, certainly I can't give you any guidance, obviously, given we are about to list. But I think we have very strong conviction of the growth And also we are very hopeful that, with our P7 launch recently, we will have exciting growth in our sales numbers.